or rejection, a word that often brings fear, self-doubt, and bitterness. But what if you could turn this formidable obstacle into your most powerful ally? The Stoics believed rejection wasn't something to avoid, but something to embrace, to understand, and to use as fuel. Today, we'll uncover 13 lessons on how to use rejection to your advantage and become unstoppable. 1. Rejection isn't personal. Rejection is a universal experience that can evoke feelings of inadequacy and despair. However, through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we can reframe our understanding of rejection, recognizing that it often reflects the circumstances and limitations of others rather than our own worth. This perspective not only alleviates the sting of rejection, but also empowers us to embrace it as a catalyst for personal growth and resilience. Rejection is frequently perceived as a personal affront, leading to feelings of shame or unworthiness. Yet the Stoics teach us that this perception is misguided. According to Epictetus, one of the foremost Stoic philosophers, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This quote encapsulates the Stoic belief that our emotional responses are within our control, even when external circumstances are not. Rejection often stems from others' biases, fears, or limitations. For instance, when a job application is turned down, or a romantic advance is rebuffed, it is essential to recognize that these decisions are influenced by factors unrelated to our intrinsic value. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. This insight encourages us to detach our self-worth from the opinions and decisions of others. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of managing our desires and aversions. Epictetus advised against attaching our happiness to specific outcomes, such as acceptance or approval, stating that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. By reframing our desires, we can approach situations without the fear of rejection clouding our judgment. When we desire an outcome too intensely, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, if we focus on the action itself, like approaching someone without expecting a specific response, we liberate ourselves from the burden of rejection. The Stoics refer to this as embracing amor fati, or love of fate, which means accepting whatever happens as necessary and beneficial. Rejection can serve as a powerful teacher. Each experience offers insights into our strengths and weaknesses, allowing us to refine our approach in future endeavors. Seneca remarked, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." This courage extends to facing rejection head-on and using it as a stepping stone toward improvement. For example, consider an artist whose work is rejected by a gallery. Instead of viewing this as a failure, they can reflect on feedback received and use it to enhance their craft. The act of creating becomes more valuable than the external validation sought from others. Embracing rejection fosters resilience, a core tenet of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that adversity strengthens character. Marcus Aurelius stated, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This notion suggests that every obstacle we encounter can be transformed into an opportunity for growth. By adopting this mindset, we begin to view rejection not as an endpoint but as part of a larger journey towards self-discovery and fulfillment. Each no becomes a lesson learned rather than a defeat suffered. One way to navigate rejection is by cultivating emotional independence. This involves recognizing that our worth does not hinge on external validation. As Marcus Aurelius advised, how much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself. By focusing on our actions and intentions rather than seeking approval from others, we empower ourselves. Mindfulness practices can also aid in managing the emotional fallout from rejection. By staying present and observing our thoughts without judgment, we can reduce anxiety associated with potential rejection. Techniques such as meditation or journaling can help us process feelings constructively. Finally, reframing our perspective on rejection can transform how we experience it. Instead of viewing rejection as a failure or loss, consider it an invitation to explore new opportunities or paths that may be more aligned with our true selves. As Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, suggested, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This wisdom encourages us to be receptive to life's lessons, rather than resistant to its challenges. Rejection is an inevitable part of life that often feels deeply personal. However, through the teachings of Stoicism, we learn that it is rarely about us. By understanding that rejection reflects others' biases and limitations rather than our intrinsic worth, we can cultivate resilience and emotional independence. Embracing rejection allows us to transform setbacks into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. As we navigate life's challenges with a Stoic mindset, accepting what we cannot control while focusing on our responses, we find strength in adversity and clarity in purpose. Ultimately, each rejection serves not only as a momentary setback, but also as a vital part of our journey toward becoming more resilient individuals capable of thriving, regardless of external circumstances. 2. Build resilience through repeated exposure. Imagine every rejection as a punch in the ring of life. The first few blows might catch you off guard, knocking you back and stinging deeply. But with each encounter, something remarkable begins to happen. You don't fall as easily. Your stance becomes steadier, your skin tougher. Rejection, with all its uncomfortable edges, becomes less of a foe and more of a teacher, building your resilience like armor over time. In the words of Seneca, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor do the body." Just as a laborer's muscles grow stronger with every lift and pull, each rejection you face fortifies your mind, strengthening your character and your resolve. Resilience is a pillar of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics understood that adversity is an unavoidable part of life, and they knew it's not the rejection itself that matters, but our response to it. This is why they practiced something called voluntary discomfort, a principle where they would intentionally expose themselves to difficult situations to strengthen their mental fortitude. By subjecting themselves to challenges they could easily avoid, they built a foundation of resilience. Imagine you're an athlete training for a championship. You don't just train on the days when you feel good or when things are easy. True resilience is built by showing up on the hard days, facing repeated challenges and becoming better for it. The Stoics taught that the mind, much like the body, grows stronger by enduring hardship. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." With every rejection, with every setback, your ability to withstand life's punches increases. Over time, you learn that these rejections are stepping stones towards strength, clarity, and growth. Think about the first time you experienced rejection, a job you didn't get, a relationship that didn't work out, an opportunity that slipped through your fingers. The feeling might have overwhelmed you, left you questioning your worth, or caused you to doubt your path. But over time, with each new rejection, you may have found a new sense of strength. You began to realize that rejection doesn't define you. It's simply part of the journey. The more you face it, the less it hurts. The blows don't sting as much. The fear dissipates, and in its place, resilience takes root. Resilience is like tempered steel. Each rejection is another strike of the hammer, shaping you into something more resilient and refined. In Stoic practice, resilience isn't a gift, but a result of repeated exposure to adversity, a process called premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. The Stoics believed in visualizing worst-case scenarios and difficult situations, preparing themselves mentally to face any challenge head-on. By accepting that rejection and hardship are inevitable, they built a psychological buffer that would protect them from their life's emotional shocks. Epictetus, another great Stoic, reminds us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Just as fire tempers steel, the repeated exposure to rejection refines our inner strength. Each time we experience it, we're reminded that rejection isn't fatal, but transformative. And as our resilience grows, so does our ability to handle future rejections with grace and confidence. Over time, rejection transforms from a dreaded enemy into a valuable teacher. Think of each rejection as a drill in mental endurance training. When you begin to embrace it rather than fear it, rejection loses its power over you. You become indifferent to its sting, able to evaluate it objectively, and see it as a momentary bump on the path to something greater. This is what the Stoics would call amor fati, the love of fate. Instead of resisting what happens, they encourage us to love our path, even with its obstacles. Embracing rejection means welcoming life's uncertainties and letting each experience make you stronger and wiser. In the end, resilience is not about winning every battle. It's about becoming someone who can face loss without losing faith. With each rejection, the Stoics teach us that we are training ourselves for endurance. By enduring what we once feared, we gain control over it. Repeated exposure to rejection is what empowers us to move through life with resilience and purpose. As Seneca once wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy present circumstances without anxiety, relying on the strength of the mind to be indifferent to fortune. In every rejection, remember you are building your strength, fortifying your spirit, and honing a mind that is unshakable. Face each rejection with courage, see it as a step toward greatness, and let it shape you into the resilient force you were meant to be." 3. Use rejection as feedback. Rejection is an inevitable part of life, especially in professional and personal pursuits. However, rather than viewing rejection solely as a setback, we can harness it as a powerful tool for growth and self-improvement. Stoic philosophy offers profound insights into how we can transform rejection into valuable feedback, allowing us to refine our skills and evolve as individuals. Rejection often feels personal, but the Stoics remind us that it rarely is. Marcus Aurelius stated, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This perspective encourages us to detach our self-worth from the opinions of others. Instead of internalizing rejection, we can view it as an external event that provides insight into areas where we can improve. Rejection can stem from various factors, such as mismatched qualifications, timing, or even the preferences of those making decisions. As Epictetus articulated, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote underscores the importance of our response to rejection. We can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth, rather than a definitive statement about our abilities. Every rejection carries with it the potential for feedback. This feedback may be subtle or direct, but it invariably highlights areas for improvement. When we receive a no, it often prompts questions. What could I have done differently? What skills should I develop further? These inquiries are critical for personal and professional development. Seneca advised, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." By seeking feedback after a rejection, we prepare ourselves for future opportunities. Understanding why we were not selected can illuminate paths for improvement and enhance our candidacy in subsequent applications or interviews. When faced with rejection, one of the most proactive steps we can take is to ask for feedback from those who made the decision. This process can be daunting. However, it is essential to approach it with professionalism and gratitude. A well-crafted email or phone call expressing appreciation for the opportunity can open doors for constructive criticism. Here's a simple framework to follow when requesting feedback. Express gratitude. Thank the interviewer or decision-maker for their time and consideration. Acknowledge your disappointment. It's okay to express that you were disappointed by the outcome. Request specific feedback. Ask targeted questions that prompt detailed responses about your performance or qualifications. Show openness. Emphasize your willingness to learn and grow from the experience. For example, you might say, Thank you for considering my application for the job title position. Although I'm disappointed not to have been selected, I would appreciate any feedback you could provide regarding my interview performance or qualifications. Understanding how I can improve would be invaluable as I continue my job search. Receiving feedback can be challenging, especially if it includes constructive criticism. However, embracing this feedback is crucial for growth. As Marcus Aurelius noted, the impediment to action advances action. This means that obstacles like negative feedback can propel us forward if we choose to learn from them. When receiving feedback, listen actively. Pay close attention to what is being said without becoming defensive. Take notes. Document key points so you can reflect on them later. Ask follow-up questions. If something isn't clear, seek clarification to gain deeper insights. Once you have gathered feedback, the next step is applying it effectively. This process involves reflecting on what was said and creating an action plan based on the insights received. Identify key areas for improvement. Review the feedback and pinpoint specific skills or behaviors that need enhancement. Set goals. Establish clear objectives related to these areas, whether it's improving your resume format or enhancing your interview techniques. Seek additional resources. Consider enrolling in workshops, online courses, or seeking mentorship in areas where you need growth. Practice resilience. Remember Seneca's words, "Difficulties strengthen the mind." Use each piece of feedback as motivation to persevere and improve. Rejection not only serves as a source of feedback, but also plays a vital role in building character and resilience. Stoicism teaches us that enduring hardships enables us to develop strength and fortitude. Each rejection becomes a lesson in perseverance, a way to cultivate a mindset that embraces challenges rather than shying away from them. As Epictetus wisely stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." By mastering our reactions to rejection, transforming disappointment into determination, we assert control over our emotional landscape. Adopting a growth mindset is essential when dealing with rejection. This mindset encourages viewing challenges as opportunities rather than insurmountable barriers. Carol Dweck's research on fixed versus growth mindsets highlights how those who embrace challenges are more likely to succeed in the long run. Incorporating Stoic principles into this mindset reinforces our ability to adapt and thrive despite setbacks. Embrace change. Recognize that change is a natural part of life and that every experience contributes to our journey. Focus on what you can control. Concentrate on your actions and responses rather than external outcomes. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge progress made along the way, no matter how minor it may seem. Rejection is not merely an end, it is often a beginning, a chance to gather feedback and refine our approach toward future endeavors. By adopting a Stoic perspective on rejection, we learn not only to accept setbacks gracefully, but also to leverage them as catalysts for personal growth. Through seeking constructive feedback, listening actively, applying insights diligently, and fostering resilience, we transform each no into an invaluable lesson that propels us toward success. As we navigate life's challenges with this mindset, we become stronger individuals, equipped with the tools necessary to face future rejections with confidence and grace. Embracing rejection as feedback ultimately empowers us on our journey toward self-improvement and fulfillment. 4. It sharpens your purpose. Imagine that rejection is the wind pushing against you as you climb toward your goal. At times it feels unrelenting, trying to drive you back to where you started. But here's the twist. Instead of being a force that discourages you, rejection serves as a relentless tester of your true purpose. It asks the question that many shy away from. How much do you really want this? In answering, you find not only your own determination but also clarity, a vision sharpened by resistance. For the Stoics, clarity was essential. Life is filled with distractions, desires, and decisions, many of which can pull us away from our path. Rejection, paradoxically, acts as a form of guidance, cutting through the noise and forcing us to question our motives. In the words of Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Rejection is the moment when we reaffirm our answer to this question. Do we truly want what we're pursuing? Or is our path in need of adjustment? In our lives, we chase goals. Some we've held on to since childhood, and others we pick up along the way. Yet the human mind is like a crowded market, filled with countless interests, desires, and fleeting passions. Purpose, however, isn't something shallow or temporary. Purpose is your guiding star, the reason you keep going even when the path is rough. And it's rejection that clears away the clouds, forcing us to see if that star is still guiding us in the right direction. Seneca once wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Rejection acts as the wind that reveals whether our ship is sailing in the right direction. If a goal holds true meaning for us, rejection will only serve to strengthen our commitment. But if the purpose isn't aligned with our core, rejection becomes the sign that perhaps a course correction is in order. Every time rejection tries to knock you back, it's giving you the opportunity to pause and ask, is this what I'm meant to be doing? By embracing these moments of doubt, you learn to focus on what's truly essential. This is the Stoic way, to welcome challenges as clarifiers, not obstacles. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Instead of letting rejection affect your sense of worth or direction, take it as an opportunity to reevaluate your purpose. Does the pursuit still resonate, or are you simply chasing a shadow? When the answer is yes, you know that rejection can't deter you. When it's no, you have the wisdom to adjust your course. Rejection is like a sculptor chiseling away at a rough stone. With each setback, a piece falls away, leaving behind a clearer version of what lies underneath. The more we encounter rejection, the more we understand what truly matters to us. It forces us to eliminate the distractions and side paths that dilute our purpose. Amor fati, or the love of fate, is the Stoic practice of embracing everything that happens, even rejection, as a necessary part of our journey. Rather than fight or resent it, let rejection serve its role in refining your purpose. As Epictetus advised, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Each time rejection occurs, it asks you to reevaluate your wants and determine if they align with what truly brings you meaning. Rejection may sometimes feel like a closed door, but in truth, it opens the path to your most authentic self. The Stoics believed that every experience, every obstacle, and yes, every rejection, plays a role in shaping who we are meant to become. When you're turned away, see it as a test of how deeply you're committed to your purpose. If you choose to continue, you know that your purpose is worth every struggle. And if you decide to change course, you do so not from fear or frustration, but from a place of clarity and wisdom. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the paradox of rejection. It seems to block our path, but in reality, it shows us our true direction. Embrace each rejection as a way to sharpen your focus, to realign with your deepest values, and to let go of anything that no longer serves your purpose. Rejection isn't a punishment, it's a tool. A tool that helps you to discover whether your purpose is aligned with your true self. Every setback, every no, is an invitation to refine and clarify, to cast aside distractions, and to walk a path that resonates with your inner calling. The more you face rejection, the clearer your purpose becomes, and with clarity comes a strength that is unshakable. Remember, true purpose isn't deterred by rejection, it is sharpened by it. 5. Rejection encourages adaptability. Rejection is an unavoidable aspect of life, often perceived as a setback or a personal failure. However, through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we can view rejection as a powerful catalyst for adaptability and growth. The Stoics, including philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, emphasized the importance of flexibility in navigating life's challenges. Rather than clinging to one plan or path, they taught that rejection can guide us toward new opportunities and better options. At the heart of Stoicism is the acceptance of reality as it is. Epictetus famously stated, "It's not events that disturb us but our interpretations and judgments about them." This principle encourages us to recognize that rejection is not inherently negative. Rather, it is our perception of it that shapes our emotional response. By accepting rejection as a natural part of life, we can begin to see it not as a failure, but as an opportunity for redirection. Rejection often serves as a reminder that we do not have control over external circumstances, such as other people's opinions or decisions. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead, want them to happen as they do happen." This perspective fosters resilience and adaptability, allowing us to pivot when faced with obstacles. Instead of viewing rejection as a closed door, we can see it as a compass guiding us toward different paths. When one opportunity slips away, it may be an invitation to explore alternatives that align more closely with our true selves or aspirations. Seneca noted, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Embracing rejection requires courage, the courage to let go of what we thought we wanted and to remain open to new possibilities. When faced with rejection, ask yourself, what new paths might this open up? How can I adapt my approach or perspective? What lessons can I learn from this experience? These questions allow us to reframe our mindset from one of disappointment to one of exploration and growth. A key component of adapting to rejection lies in cultivating a growth mindset, the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and perseverance. Thomas Edison's famous quote, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," exemplifies this mindset. Each rejection becomes a stepping stone toward eventual success rather than a definitive endpoint. To foster this mindset, embrace challenges, view obstacles as opportunities for learning rather than insurmountable barriers. Seek feedback. After experiencing rejection, actively seek constructive criticism. This feedback can illuminate areas for improvement and guide your next steps. Reflect on progress. Regularly assess your growth journey. Recognizing how far you've come can provide motivation during challenging times. The Stoics were masters of adaptability. They understood that clinging too tightly to one plan could lead to disappointment when things didn't go as expected. Instead, they advocated for flexibility, being prepared to adjust our plans in response to changing circumstances. When faced with rejection, reassess your goals. Take time to reflect on your long-term objectives. Are there alternative routes you haven't considered? Experiment with new approaches. If one method fails, try another. This experimentation can lead you to unexpected opportunities. Stay open-minded. Embrace uncertainty as part of the journey. Being open to new experiences can lead you down paths you never anticipated. Rejection can evoke strong emotions, disappointment, frustration, or even anger. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control external events, we can control our responses. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." This metaphor highlights the need for resilience and adaptability in the face of life's challenges. To build emotional resilience, acknowledge your feelings. It's essential to recognize and accept your feelings without judgment. Suppressing emotions can lead to greater distress. Practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness practices such as meditation or journaling to help process your emotions constructively. Focus on what you can control, Redirect your energy toward actions within your control, your thoughts, responses, and efforts moving forward. Rejection often prompts self-reflection, a crucial step in personal growth. When faced with setbacks, take the time to evaluate your strengths and weaknesses honestly. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? How can I improve my approach in the future? What skills do I need to develop further? This introspection allows you to turn rejection into an opportunity for self-discovery and improvement. The Stoics believed that adversity strengthens character. Seneca stated, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." Each experience of rejection tests our resilience and reveals our true selves. By embracing these challenges rather than avoiding them, we cultivate inner strength and fortitude. Consider how past rejections have shaped you. Have they made you more determined? Have they led you to discover new passions or interests? Have they helped you develop empathy for others facing similar challenges? Recognizing these transformations reinforces the idea that rejection is not merely an obstacle, but a vital part of our growth journey. Rejection is an integral aspect of life that offers valuable lessons in adaptability and resilience. Through the teachings of Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, we learn that instead of clinging rigidly to one path, we should embrace flexibility and view rejection as a compass guiding us toward new opportunities. By cultivating a growth mindset, practicing emotional resilience, and engaging in self-reflection, we can transform the experience of rejection into a powerful tool for personal development. In doing so, we not only navigate life's challenges with grace, but also emerge stronger and more adaptable individuals, ready to embrace whatever comes next on our journey. Ultimately, rejection becomes less about loss and more about redirection, a chance to explore new horizons and discover better paths aligned with our true potential. 6. Redefine failure. Redefining failure is a powerful concept that can transform our approach to challenges and setbacks. According to Stoic philosophy, particularly the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, failure should not be seen as a final verdict, but rather as a vital step on the path to success. Embracing this mindset allows us to view rejection and failure not as sources of shame, but as opportunities for learning and growth. Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote encapsulates the Stoic belief that obstacles, including failures, are not merely hindrances, but essential components of our journey. Each setback provides valuable lessons that can inform our future decisions and actions. In a society that often glorifies success while stigmatizing failure, it is crucial to shift our perspective. Failure is not an end point. It is a process, a necessary part of learning. The Stoics understood that every misstep offers insights that can lead to personal development. As Epictetus noted, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This reaction defines our growth potential. The concept of a growth mindset, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, aligns closely with Stoic philosophy. A growth mindset posits that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. When we redefine failure as a learning experience, we cultivate resilience and adaptability, qualities essential for success. Thomas Edison's famous assertion, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," exemplifies this mindset. Each attempt brings us closer to success by refining our approach based on what we learn from our failures. Reflection is a critical component of learning from failure. After experiencing a setback, take time to analyze what went wrong. Ask yourself, what were the contributing factors? How could I have approached the situation differently? What lessons can I extract from this experience? This self-examination allows us to identify patterns in our behavior and decision-making processes, enabling us to make more informed choices in the future. Feedback from others can provide valuable perspectives that we might overlook. Engaging with mentors or peers can help illuminate blind spots and offer suggestions for improvement. As Seneca advised, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Constructive criticism is essential for growth. It helps us refine our skills and approaches. Failure often reveals the need for change. Instead of sticking rigidly to one plan or strategy, use your experiences as a springboard for experimentation. Embrace new methods or ideas based on what you've learned from past failures. This willingness to adapt is crucial for personal and professional growth. In the journey of redefining failure, it's important to acknowledge progress, no matter how small. Celebrating incremental achievements reinforces positive behavior and builds confidence. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of recognizing our efforts. Here's a rule to remember in future. When anything tempts you to feel bitter, not "this is misfortune," but to bear this worthily is good fortune. By focusing on what we achieve along the way, we foster resilience in the face of setbacks. Reframing failure as a learning opportunity fosters emotional resilience. When we accept that setbacks are part of life's journey, we become better equipped to handle future challenges without being overwhelmed by fear or anxiety. As Alexander Solzhenitsyn stated, "Mistakes are a great educator when one is honest enough to admit them and willing to learn from them." This honesty paves the way for personal growth and strengthens our ability to bounce back from adversity. Learning from failure also enhances self-awareness. By reflecting on our experiences and understanding our reactions, we gain insights into our strengths and weaknesses. This self-awareness empowers us to seek opportunities for development actively. Redefining failure through the lens of Stoicism transforms how we approach challenges in life. By viewing setbacks as essential components of growth rather than definitive endpoints, we cultivate resilience and adaptability, qualities vital for success. Embracing this mindset allows us to learn from every experience, fostering an environment where failure becomes a stepping stone toward achievement rather than a source of discouragement. As we navigate life's complexities, let us remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. The impediment to action advances action. Each rejection or failure nudges us toward new paths and deeper understanding, ultimately guiding us toward greater success and fulfillment in our endeavors. 7. Rejection builds gratitude for what you have. Imagine facing rejection after rejection, each one a reminder of what didn't go according to plan. The disappointment is real and it can be all-consuming. But what if rejection wasn't just a door closing, but a window opening to a new perspective? What if, instead of focusing on what you don't have, rejection helps you see the true value of what's already in your life? Rejection can be a powerful teacher, directing our attention back to the things that genuinely bring us joy and meaning. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." This wisdom reminds us that the things we often take for granted, the relationships, comforts, and abilities we already possess, are blessings. Rejection nudges us to reconnect with that truth. Think about how easy it is to forget the good in our lives when we're focused on what's missing. A new job, an ideal relationship, a particular achievement. These are powerful motivators. But the pursuit of more can sometimes obscure what we already have. The Stoics believed that true contentment comes from within, rooted in gratitude and appreciation for what is present, not for what's elusive. When we're rejected, it's as if life is giving us a gentle nudge, inviting us to pause, take stock, and find value in the things that can't be taken away. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, advised us to consider in silence the blessings which you do possess, and with a sense of gratitude, remind yourself how you would feel if you did not have them. Rejection, though painful, serves as a reminder to take that pause, to see beyond the lack, and to embrace what we might otherwise overlook. Think about the things in your life that bring you peace and happiness. Often, they're not the high-status accomplishments or new acquisitions. They're the people who support you, the home that shelters you, the skills you've honed over time. Rejection shines a spotlight on these simple, steady sources of joy. Suddenly, that promotion you didn't get, or the project that didn't go through feels less overwhelming because you're reminded of the abundance that already exists in your life. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker, taught that we should never place our happiness on things outside our control. He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing. This insight from Epictetus isn't about limiting ambition. It's about freeing ourselves from the grip of always needing more. Rejection in this light isn't a failure. It's a chance to appreciate our current blessings without always wanting more. Practicing gratitude allows us to center ourselves, shifting focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Rejection, ironically, can be one of life's most effective teachers in gratitude. When we face it, we're reminded to take stock of what we have and what can never be lost. The knowledge we've gained, the personal growth we've achieved, the relationships that nurture us. Stoic philosophy encourages this mindset. Instead of focusing on the doors that closed, consider the support systems and resources that remain open. Each rejection builds within us a gratitude that fortifies our sense of fulfillment and peace. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants, Epictetus reminds us. Rejection helps refine our desires, allowing us to focus on the essentials that truly matter. Gratitude shifts the narrative. Instead of seeing rejection as a loss, we start to see it as a redirection toward a deeper connection with what we already possess. We realize that these are not mere substitutes for what we sought, but foundational pillars that give our lives meaning, stability, and joy. The Stoic concept of amor fati, or love of fate, encourages us to embrace all parts of our journey, even the disappointments. By accepting rejection and cultivating gratitude for what we have, we're not only resilient in the face of setbacks but also deeply content, regardless of external outcomes. Rejection can often feel like a storm, leaving us with a sense of lack or failure. But remember, the things that remain with you after rejection are the true treasures: your character, your loved ones, your sense of purpose. Practicing gratitude grounds you, providing a stable foundation that rejection cannot shake. Marcus Aurelius advised, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." With gratitude, each rejection becomes less of a defeat and more of a reminder to cherish the beauty and abundance already present in your life. 8. Strengthens your independence. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that rejection is not merely a setback, it is an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. One of the most profound lessons from Stoicism is the importance of self-reliance and independence. Each rejection we face serves as a reminder that true validation and approval come from within, not from external sources. By embracing this independence, we can transform rejection into a source of strength that fortifies our resolve. Self-reliance is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It emphasizes the importance of looking inward for validation rather than seeking approval from others. As Epictetus famously stated, "We cannot control the external events that happen to us, but we can control how we respond to them." This quote encapsulates the essence of self-reliance. While we may not have control over others' opinions or decisions, we have complete authority over our reactions and perceptions. In a world that often prioritizes external validation, whether through social media likes, professional accolades, or personal relationships, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate an internal sense of worth. By doing so, we free ourselves from the emotional turmoil that often accompanies rejection. Marcus Aurelius highlights this sentiment by stating, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This inner strength becomes our foundation when faced with challenges. Rejection can be painful, but it is also a powerful teacher. Each instance of rejection nudges us toward greater self-awareness and independence. Instead of viewing rejection as a reflection of our inadequacies, we can interpret it as feedback that guides us toward self-improvement. Seneca wisely noted, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Embracing rejection requires courage, the courage to learn from our experiences and to adapt our paths accordingly. When we encounter rejection, it prompts us to ask critical questions about ourselves. What can I learn from this experience? How can I adjust my approach moving forward? What does this reveal about my values and priorities? These reflections allow us to grow stronger and more resilient in the face of adversity. One key aspect of developing independence is embracing personal responsibility. Stoics believe that taking responsibility for our actions and reactions empowers us to shape our lives according to our values. Epictetus emphasized this point when he said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we cultivate a sense of agency that enhances our independence. When faced with rejection, instead of blaming external circumstances or others' judgments, we can take ownership of our responses. This shift in perspective allows us to channel our energy into constructive actions rather than dwelling on negative emotions. Rejection also strengthens our resolve by reinforcing our inner strength. Each time we confront disappointment and choose to rise above it, we build resilience. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." By consciously choosing to focus on growth rather than defeat, we enhance our mental fortitude. To cultivate this inner strength, practice self-reflection. Regularly reflect on your experiences and emotions. Journaling can be an effective tool for processing feelings related to rejection. Set personal goals. Establish clear objectives based on your values and aspirations. This focus helps you stay grounded in your purpose despite external setbacks. Engage in positive self-talk. Replace negative thoughts with affirmations that reinforce your self-worth and capabilities. As we cultivate self-reliance through rejection, we experience a profound sense of freedom. This independence allows us to pursue our passions without being tethered to others' expectations or opinions. Seneca articulated this beautifully. A good character, when established in virtue, is independent. By grounding ourselves in virtue and self-awareness, we create a life aligned with our true selves. This freedom also fosters creativity and innovation. When we are not preoccupied with seeking approval from others, we can explore new ideas and approaches without fear of judgment. Rejection becomes less daunting because it no longer defines our worth or potential. 9. Opens new doors and opportunities. When we face rejection, it can feel like the end of the road. The door we so desperately wanted to pass through has closed, leaving us standing there, uncertain, maybe even defeated. But often that closed door is a blessing in disguise, a sign that another, perhaps even more rewarding path is waiting for us. As the Stoics teach us, everything in life happens for a reason, often beyond our immediate understanding. What seems like a setback can, in reality, be the start of a better opportunity. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles, like rejection, aren't meant to halt our journey. They're part of it, guiding us to look in directions we might not have considered. Rejection is often a sign that our path is evolving, pushing us to explore new routes that we may not have noticed while we were focused on a single outcome. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you planned. Perhaps it was a job you didn't get, a project that didn't materialize, or a relationship that ended. In the moment, it felt disappointing, even painful. But sometimes, in hindsight, we realize that the very things we lost were the things that led us to where we are today. The Stoics believe that life's twists and turns are not accidents. They're part of the design. Each rejection is a nudge, steering us toward a different door, a new opportunity, or an unexpected direction. Seneca, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, advised, "A good character, when tested, reveals itself as pure, like gold, when it is struck by fire. Rejection is a form of that test. It reveals our resilience and guides us to opportunities we may have overlooked while pursuing what we thought we wanted. Sometimes, life has plans for us that we can't see yet. What seems like a setback is often life's way of pointing us toward something that's a better fit for us, something that aligns more closely with our true potential. When we open ourselves up to these new possibilities, we begin to see that rejection is less of a block and more of a redirection. Epictetus reminds us, we suffer not from the events in our lives but from our judgments about them. If we choose to see rejection as a failure, it will feel like a dead end. But if we see it as a signpost, a chance to explore new avenues, it becomes a source of growth, not grief. Rejection has the power to free us from the tunnel vision that comes with intense focus on a single goal. When one door closes, it's often an invitation to look at the other doors around us. Perhaps there's a different job that will allow us to use our strengths more fully, a new project that will inspire us, or a relationship that will support us better. Rejection pushes us out of our comfort zones and expands our horizons. The Stoics believe that nothing in life is purely good or bad. Everything is what we make of it. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Rejection is one of these trials, but it's also a chance to refine our paths, to polish our skills, and to become more resilient in the face of adversity. Life's closed doors can be hard to accept, but they're often gifts in disguise. A no from one place may very well be a yes from a better opportunity. The Stoic practice of amor fati, or love of fate, encourages us to embrace every part of our journey, especially the setbacks, as necessary parts of our growth. When we learn to look at rejection not as an end, but as a new beginning, we open ourselves to a world of possibilities that we might never have discovered on our original path. So next time you face rejection, remember that it could be life's way of leading you somewhere even better. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." Embrace each rejection as a chance to explore, to grow, and to welcome the opportunities waiting just beyond the closed door. 10. Rejection teaches patience. Rejection is an inevitable part of life, often experienced in various forms, whether in personal relationships, professional endeavors, or creative pursuits. While it can be disheartening, Stoic philosophy teaches us that rejection serves a greater purpose. It cultivates patience. By embracing this lesson, we can become more resilient, wise, and calm in the face of setbacks. Patience is a central tenet in Stoicism, emphasizing the importance of enduring difficulties with composure and grace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote encapsulates the idea that challenges, including rejection, are not merely obstacles to overcome, but opportunities for growth and development. In a world that often prioritizes instant gratification, cultivating patience allows us to align with the natural rhythms of life. Just as a tree takes years to grow strong and tall, our personal and professional growth requires time and nurturing. The Stoics encourage us to trust in this gradual unfolding, understanding that meaningful transformation often takes time. Rejection inherently teaches us patience. When faced with disappointment, we are reminded that not all outcomes are immediate or within our control. Epictetus famously stated, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective encourages us to focus on our responses rather than the rejection itself. When we experience rejection, it prompts us to pause and reflect rather than rush into new actions or decisions. This moment of introspection allows us to gather our thoughts and emotions, fostering a deeper understanding of ourselves and our goals. After experiencing rejection, take time to reflect on the situation. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? How can I adjust my approach moving forward? What does this reveal about my values and priorities? Reflection helps us process our emotions and gain insights that can inform future actions. It transforms rejection into a learning opportunity rather than a source of despair. Mindfulness practices can enhance our ability to remain patient in the face of rejection. By staying present and observing our thoughts without judgment, we can reduce anxiety associated with setbacks. Techniques such as meditation or journaling allow us to process feelings constructively. Seneca advised, "A good character, when established in virtue, is independent." Practicing mindfulness helps cultivate this independence by grounding us in the present moment rather than fixating on past rejections or future uncertainties. Understanding that true growth takes time is crucial for cultivating patience. Avoid the trap of comparing your journey to others. Each path is unique and unfolds at its own pace. By setting realistic expectations for yourself, you can reduce frustration and cultivate a sense of contentment with your progress. As Marcus Aurelius noted, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want them to. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace." By accepting outcomes as they come, whether favorable or not, we foster resilience and patience. Rejection can strengthen our resolve by reinforcing our ability to endure hardships. Each time we confront disappointment and choose to rise above it, we build resilience. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." By consciously choosing to focus on growth rather than defeat, we enhance our mental fortitude. This resilience becomes a powerful ally in navigating life's challenges. As Seneca stated, "Constant misfortune brings this one blessing. To whom it always assails, it eventually fortifies." Each experience of rejection becomes an opportunity to develop strength and perseverance. Patience nurtures wisdom, a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. When we approach rejection with patience, we learn to see beyond immediate outcomes and appreciate the lessons embedded within each experience. Epictetus wisely noted that every difficulty in life presents us with an opportunity to turn inward and invoke our inner resources. By cultivating patience through rejection, we become more attuned to our strengths and capabilities. Finally, cultivating patience helps us maintain calmness during turbulent times. Life is filled with uncertainties. However, by embracing patience as a guiding principle, we learn to navigate these uncertainties with grace. Marcus Aurelius advised, "The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit." This untroubled spirit is cultivated through patience, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively when faced with challenges. 11. Fosters self-improvement. Rejection is often viewed as a harsh critic. It's a reminder that we didn't quite measure up to someone else's standards or expectations. But imagine if we could reframe this experience. Instead of viewing rejection as a setback, what if we saw it as an invitation to grow, to become better, and to rise beyond where we are today? In Stoic philosophy, every challenge, every critique, even rejection, is an opportunity for improvement. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." When rejection comes our way, it's a moment for humility, for acknowledging that we still have areas to improve, skills to sharpen, and lessons to learn. This shift from disappointment to determination is what makes rejection a powerful tool for self-improvement. When we experience rejection, the first instinct might be to brush it off or avoid thinking about it altogether. After all, who enjoys revisiting painful moments? But the Stoics believed in the power of self-reflection, using each challenge to learn and grow. In this way, rejection is a mirror, showing us both our strengths and our areas of weakness. Think about a time when you faced rejection. Perhaps it was a job, a relationship, or a personal project. What did that experience teach you? Rejection isn't merely a door closing, it's a feedback loop, often pointing directly at areas we can work on. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. In other words, by viewing rejection as a lesson rather than a loss, we transform it from something that hurts to something that helps. Rejection, if viewed with a growth mindset, becomes a map, guiding us toward the skills and qualities we need to develop. It's easy to let rejection bring us down, but those who thrive use it as fuel to come back stronger. The Stoics encouraged us to turn adversity into advantage. By analyzing the reasons for our rejection, we're equipped to work on the very qualities that could make us succeed next time. Seneca believed that it is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. This path isn't meant to be smooth. It's filled with challenges that forge us into better versions of ourselves. Each rejection is a chance to hone your skills, refine your approach, and strengthen your character. Rather than letting it discourage you, allow it to inspire improvement. This doesn't just make you better for the next opportunity. It builds confidence, resilience, and a stronger sense of self-worth. Self-improvement isn't a destination, it's a journey. And along this path, rejection is a natural, even necessary stepping stone. It's not about one failure or one missed opportunity. It's about who we become through these experiences. Epictetus reminds us, we are not disturbed by things, but by the view we take of them. Each rejection holds within it the potential to elevate us if we choose to see it as an opportunity. When we approach rejection with this perspective, we stop fearing it. Instead, we start to see it as a vital part of our growth. Each critique, each no, becomes a tool that helps us polish our skills, deepen our understanding, and become more resilient. The Stoics believed in the pursuit of excellence, and excellence requires that we are willing to face our imperfections with courage and determination. Rejection builds resilience. Each time we face it and choose to improve rather than quit, we strengthen our resolve. We learn that setbacks are not the end of the road, but rather markers along the path of self-development. With each rejection we overcome, we come back a bit wiser, a bit stronger, and a bit more prepared for the next challenge. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When rejection comes, we cannot control the outcome, but we can control our response. And by choosing to respond with self-improvement, we take back our power. We transform rejection from a painful experience to a building block of our character, our skills, and ultimately, our success. In the end, rejection is more than just an obstacle. It's an opportunity. It shows us where we can grow, where we can do better, and where we can refine our efforts. Embracing rejection, learning from it, and using it as a catalyst for improvement is the essence of the Stoic approach to life. As Seneca said, the bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity. Rejection is merely one form of adversity, and how we respond to it shapes who we become. The choice is ours. Do we let it define us, or do we use it to refine ourselves? 12. Builds mental toughness. Rejection is a universal experience that can often feel disheartening, but within the context of Stoic philosophy, it serves a vital purpose: building mental toughness. The Stoics understood that true strength is forged through adversity, and each rejection we encounter molds us into more resilient individuals. By embracing this perspective, we can cultivate a mindset that not only withstands the sting of rejection, but also thrives because of it. Stoicism teaches that strength does not arise from comfort or ease. Rather, it is developed through facing challenges and overcoming obstacles. As Seneca eloquently stated, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. This analogy highlights the idea that just as physical exercise builds muscle, facing and overcoming life's difficulties fortifies our mental resilience. Rejection acts as a form of mental exercise. Each time we face a no, whether in our careers, relationships, or personal aspirations, we are presented with an opportunity to strengthen our resolve. Instead of viewing rejection as a setback, we can see it as a chance to build our mental fortitude. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of perspective when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote encapsulates a core tenet of Stoicism. While we cannot control external circumstances or others' opinions, we have complete authority over our reactions and interpretations. When faced with rejection, we can choose how to respond. Rather than allowing external opinions to dictate our self-worth or emotional state, we can cultivate an internal sense of validation. This shift in perspective fosters independence and resilience, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. The first step in building mental toughness is acknowledging our emotions in response to rejection. It's natural to feel disappointment, sadness, or frustration when faced with setbacks. Instead of suppressing these feelings, mentally strong individuals confront them head-on. As Epictetus advised, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By facing our emotions rather than avoiding them, we gain clarity and understanding. Rejection can be reframed as an essential part of the growth process. Each no provides valuable feedback that can guide us toward improvement. Instead of viewing rejection as a reflection of our inadequacies, we can interpret it as an opportunity for self-discovery and development. For instance, if a job application is rejected, instead of concluding that we are unqualified, we can ask ourselves what skills or experiences we might need to enhance. This proactive approach transforms rejection into a constructive force in our lives. Reflection is key to developing resilience. After experiencing rejection, take time to assess what happened and what you can learn from it. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? How can I improve moving forward? What strengths did I discover in myself during this process? This reflective practice not only fosters self-awareness, but also reinforces our ability to bounce back from adversity. Seneca's words remind us that fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. Each rejection tests our character and reveals our inner strength. Mental toughness is built over time through consistent effort and perseverance. Embracing the journey means accepting that setbacks are part of life's natural rhythm. As Marcus Aurelius noted, life is neither good nor evil, but only a place for good and evil. This perspective encourages us to view life's challenges, including rejection, as opportunities for growth, rather than definitive judgments on our worth. By adopting this mindset, we cultivate patience and resilience. We learn to appreciate the process rather than fixating solely on outcomes. As we build mental toughness through rejection and adversity, we develop a greater sense of self-confidence. Each time we overcome a setback, we reinforce our belief in our abilities and resilience. This newfound confidence empowers us to take risks and pursue opportunities without fear of failure. Building mental toughness also contributes to greater emotional stability. When we learn to manage our reactions to rejection and view setbacks as part of the growth process, we become less susceptible to external opinions or judgments. This emotional resilience allows us to maintain composure in challenging situations. Facing rejection enhances our problem-solving skills. Each setback prompts us to reassess our strategies and approaches, fostering creativity and adaptability. As Epictetus wisely stated, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. This ability to adapt strengthens our capacity for effective problem-solving in various aspects of life. 13. Aligns you with your true path. Stoicism teaches us that rejection is a natural part of the human experience. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." This perspective encourages us to recognize that rejection often reflects the views and circumstances of others rather than our intrinsic worth. By understanding this, we can detach ourselves from the emotional weight of rejection and view it as an external event rather than a personal failure. Epictetus further emphasized this point by stating, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Our response to rejection shapes our journey. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, we can choose to see rejection as an opportunity for growth and redirection. The Stoics believed in the importance of trusting the process of life. Each experience, whether positive or negative, contributes to our overall development. As Seneca wisely stated, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Embracing rejection requires courage. It invites us to trust that every setback is part of a larger plan guiding us toward our true purpose. When we face rejection, it's essential to pause and reflect on what this experience might be teaching us. Are there lessons to be learned? Are there new paths to explore? By trusting in the process, we open ourselves up to possibilities we may not have considered otherwise. Rejection often serves as a catalyst for discovering new opportunities that align more closely with our true selves. Steve Maraboli aptly said, "Every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better." This sentiment encapsulates the idea that what feels like a setback may actually be guiding us towards something more suitable for our growth and happiness. For instance, consider someone who applies for their dream job, but receives a rejection letter. Initially disheartened, they may later find an even better opportunity that aligns with their skills and passions. This redirection allows them to pursue a path that ultimately leads to greater fulfillment. Rejection also provides valuable insight into ourselves. It forces us to reassess our goals and motivations. When faced with setbacks, we can ask ourselves, what does this rejection reveal about my aspirations? Am I pursuing this path for the right reasons? How can I grow from this experience? This self-reflection fosters personal growth and helps clarify our true desires. As Epictetus reminded us, difficulties show what men are. Each rejection reveals aspects of our character and resilience, guiding us toward deeper self-understanding. To harness the power of rejection as redirection, begin by shifting your perspective. Instead of viewing rejection as a failure, reframe it as an opportunity for growth. Ask yourself what you can learn from each experience and how it might lead you down a more fulfilling path. Building resilience is crucial when facing rejection. Embrace challenges as opportunities to strengthen your character and determination. Seneca noted, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Each setback serves as a chance to refine your skills and develop mental toughness. When one door closes, another opens. Maintain an open mind about new opportunities that may arise from rejection. Often, paths we hadn't considered can lead us to unexpected joys and successes. Cultivating gratitude can help shift your focus from loss to abundance. Reflect on what you have gained through your experiences, even if they include rejection. Recognizing the positives in your journey fosters resilience and encourages a more optimistic outlook on life. Rejection is not merely an obstacle, it is often a powerful force guiding us toward our true path. Through Stoic philosophy, we learn that everything happens for a reason, and that each setback serves as an opportunity for growth and redirection. By trusting in the process and embracing the lessons embedded within rejection, we cultivate resilience and self-awareness. As we navigate life's challenges with this mindset, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and align more closely with our true purpose. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." By reframing rejection as redirection, we empower ourselves to embrace life's uncertainties with courage and grace, ultimately leading us toward our destiny. Sometimes rejection redirects you to where you truly belong. Trust in the process. The Stoics believed everything happens for a reason, and each rejection is just another step toward your destiny. Rejection is not an end, it's a beginning. Embrace these Stoic lessons, and let rejection be the force that propels you forward, because true power comes not from what happens to us, but how we respond. Remember, It's through rejection that we often find our greatest strengths. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and remember to turn rejection into your most powerful ally.